Most people think they're getting weak and stiff simply because they're getting older, but that's not the real reason it happens. In fact, I've helped hundreds of clients over 50 discover the real reason of their loss of strength and stiffness in their backs, hips, shoulders, you name it. In this video, I'll walk you through a quick little self-test to see if my method can help you, and then show a 3-minute exercise that unlocks your fascia strength and releases your tight muscles. So what the heck's really behind all that stiffness and strength loss after 50? It's because people clench their core muscles and don't realize it. They move through life unknowingly clenching their core, and that tension puts the whole body out of whack. It's like driving your car with the parking brake half on and wondering why the car is running so rough. Are you a victim of locked down core muscles? You can find out right now with this quick little self-test. All right, here's the quick self-test. Put your hands around the meaty part of your waist, underneath that bottom rib and on top of your hip, so you can grab the meat. Thumbs in the back by the kidneys, fingers in the front by the belly. And what I want you to do is try to go ahead and do an easy hula hoop with your hips. Like back when you were a kid when you did the hula hoop. Do circles in both directions and feel that your hips, they're probably not like they were when you were 10, but they're pretty free. You can do the hula hoop. Try both directions. Now we're going to see if you can do that same hula hoop motion with your waist. So you're going to take your hand that's around your waist and use that kind of a landmark and try to move a hula hoop from your waistline. And I'll go both directions. Just like this. Now my hips aren't moving when I do the waist rotation. That's the waist, or this is the hip hula hoop. Here's the waist hula hoop. And what happens is your belly kind of sticks out. That's the front. Then the side, and then the back. I can feel the back bulging out into my thumbs in the back. Then the side, then the front. And you get so you can do a waist rotation. And the waistline is typically very challenging for adults, especially over 50, 60, 70, and beyond. So if you're having difficulty doing that, understand this exercise that I'm about to show you is for you. We're going to loosen up those tight core muscles, and it's going to affect the whole body. Before we jump into today's exercise, picture yourself at 12 years old. I'd bet you $100 you could do those same waist rotations easily when you were a kid. That's because your core wasn't in clench mode. It was loose, agile, and doing its job. Your whole body was moving freely without stiffness. Let's bring back that freedom of movement you once had with the key fascia strength principle called move from center. So what exactly does it mean to move from center? It means making all your movements originate from your core area. Move from center is very powerful for people over 50. Take this email I got the other day from a 60-year-old bricklayer named Larry. Jack, your fascia strength program is a game changer. The move from center exercises really kick ass. Loosen my stiff body up. I feel loose and strong like I'm 40 years old again. Let me show you how move from center works with today's exercise. There's 2 parts to this 3-minute exercise. Here's the first part. Okay, like I said, this is a 2-part exercise today. This first part, you need a stick, and it can be a broomstick, a mop stick. I'm going to take the end off on this one, okay, just so I have like a 4 or 5 foot stick. Heck, you could go out in the yard and get a straight branch and use that too. Just something in your hands, okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a kayak motion with this stick in my hand. Like I'm paddling a kayak forwards and backwards. Now, what I want you to do first is notice that it's probably your shoulders and your arms powering the movement. That's not moving from center. That's moving from your stiff shoulders. What we want to do is move from our center. where the movement originates from your waist and your arms and your shoulders are just going along for the ride. And what you'll notice, it really smooths the movement up. Okay? So right now, you can see my waist. It's moving in the pattern of the kayaking stick, the stick that's paddling. Okay, most people, if you ask them to paddle this kayak, they're going to stiffen their core, clench it, and they're going to be all shoulders, and their hips are going to be locked down too. So the whole body's taking a beating, rather than being more like a belly dancer and moving from center. This is a 3-minute exercise. This is part 1. So you work about 1.5 minutes. Go both directions and just get so your waist is doing the movement. Again, I'll lift the stick up so you can see my waist. It's doing the same pattern as the kayak paddling. My waistline is. And it's not just the front, it's the back, it's the sides, it's the whole waistline moving, and it's powering the movement. It's not my tight shoulders and my locked down hips. Now the other thing you'll notice when you get a nice smooth movement and it's from center, your arms and shoulders are just going along for the ride. Let go of your hips, and what you'll notice is now your legs look like they're moving, but it's really just the move from center that is moving the legs because they're connected. So your legs are kind of just going along for the ride like your upper body. And everything's relaxed. Just should feel effortless after a while. Again, most people move from shoulders and they got their hips tight. Core is clenched. The body's one big ball of tension. We want to let all that tension go and relax. Move from center. Think of yourself as like a belly dancer, and the belly and the core and the whole midsection is powering the movement. So how does moving from center reverse stiffness and weakness? Look at it this way. Most people, especially people over 50, don't move from their center. They move from their shoulders and hips with too much tension. This tension leads to tight muscles, beat up joints, and a body that feels old and stiff. But when you move from center, everything clicks. Your upper and lower bodies sync up and your fascia strength kicks in. Your built-in elasticity takes over and your tense muscles don't need to work so hard. That means less strain on the muscles and joints, more fluid movement, and a body that finally starts to heal instead of hurt. Okay, the second part of this exercise, you're sitting on a hard chair. You're sitting on the edge. Don't be sitting back. Put your hands around the waist like we did on that self-test at the beginning. And you're going to do the same hula hoop with your waist that you did on the self-test. So it goes back, to the side, to the front, to the side, to the back. You can go the other direction. And you're going to find out that it is lots easier to do the waist rotation when you're sitting on a chair than you were standing up on the test. And that's because you're sitting on your butt and now your hips are out of play. When you're standing up, your hips are in play and you want to move your hips, so it's kind of harder to move your waist. So sit down on a chair and do these waist rotations. And I want you to keep this in mind and remember, don't force into trying to make yourself do a bigger and better rotation. You'll get sore the next day if you do that, so just be patient, and in time, after several days of playing with this, the rotations will get easier and the rotation will get larger, the circle will become larger. So I'm just doing the hula hoops with my waist. You know, do that for 45 seconds or so. And then I want you to try another direction. Instead of doing the hula hoop, you're going to go you're going to do this kind of hula hoop, where I raise my torso, lower it. Just like this. And I go the other direction. And I'm just making my center nice and nimble in different directions. Over time, over the years, the brain, the communication from the brain to these muscles have lost communication. We're trying to wake them up. Back when you were 12, this would have been a breeze. Now you're a few years older and it's not so easy. But if you take your time, make sure you're breathing, relax, your brain will reconnect with those muscles and learn to move from center again. Here's kind of a dorky little mental image I use, but it works for me. When I train move from center, I picture a leopard, and you can think of any animal you want. But when my badass leopard moves his body, his movement comes from his center. That's why he's so agile and graceful, even when he needs explosive power to take down prey. To move like the leopard, your core has to be nimble, able to spiral, expand, contract in all directions. And that's exactly what you're developing with the move from center exercise I just showed you. Do that one daily, and in 3 to 7 days, you'll start to feel a shift of how your whole body is freeing up, and you'll feel newfound fascia strength to give you more horsepower. If you'd like to take the next step with move from center work, you can check out my program, Fascia Strength and Power. In that program, there's a whole module dedicated to moving from center. I'll leave the link below. That's all I have for you today. See you on the next video.